Hi everybody, thanks for joining me. I think you know my name by now. I'm making a bit of a complaint video, not a complaint video but a bit of a story. I'm going to give you guys some advice on ordering parts. You all know the story about my alternator. I ordered can't remember the make of the alternator, from Supercheap in 2021. And that alternator got wet, died and lasted a year. They wanted to send it back. Supercheap auto guy didn't want to mess me about, so he ordered me a J-Lec. I got the J-Lec, I put that in, that lasted a year and 9 months. I did all the right things. I put new cables on, I changed the relay, I changed the sense cable, made sure there was voltage there, I did everything. I bench tested the alternator as I showed you in the video, and as it turns out, it's at 2,900 RPM, it was only producing 12 volts, 12.4 volts. So that's not enough. When I got in touch with Supercheap again and told them all this information, they said, can you bring the alternator in? The J-Lec's supplier want it back, they want to test it. I said, no I can't, because it's a 10-kilometre walk and I don't have a car. The guy said, look, I'll speak to my manager and see what he says, but he's not in till tomorrow. I said, that's fine. So I rang back and said, look, it's Friday, I've got the wife's car on Monday, I'll bring the alternator in. So I've been more than fair. I dropped my wife off at 7:45. I arrived at Supercheap at 8:05. I sat there till 8:30 and then took the alternator in. I used the excuse that I was getting rid of some old engine oil as well and did that. Anyway, that's not the point. The point is, in the meantime, because Supercheap wanted $629 for a new alternator, not that I would have to pay that, I said to the guy, look, I found one for $321, which is actually a lot cheaper than my original alternator. It is, I'm going to name and shame here because it's Automotive Superstore, $324 delivered. I thought, oh, that's fantastic. And so would you, I would imagine. Everybody would. What I didn't realise was it takes Automotive Superstore 3 days to remove an alternator from a shelf and put it in a skip for the postman to pick up and put my name and address on it. 3 days. So I'm sat at home waiting for the alternator to arrive on Monday and Tuesday, and they hadn't even sent it. So I got in touch with them. He said, yes, I'm expecting it to go out tomorrow. I said, tomorrow? I said, my car's off the road. I said, I've already waited 4 days because of the weekend. He said, it says on the website, it says 2 to 3 business days. I said, that's not acceptable, mate. I'm sorry. He said, I'll see what I can do. Well, what he could do was absolutely nothing. Probably slow it down. Because it went out the next day, I got a notification, I got a tracking number and everything. And currently it's sitting in Sydney. Now, this is Friday. So I've waited a week and it's due to be delivered on Monday or Tuesday. Hopefully Monday. But that is over a week to get a part for a car that's off the road. They're sending it signed for. Now if I was a working person, when they don't know I'm not, I would have to scrounge a lift to work. And then I'd be at the mercy of that person coming home. I'm not going to be at home to sign for an alternator. So they're going to take it to a post office and I'm going to get home and I'm going to have to walk to the post office to get it. That's another day. Then I'm going to walk back with a heavy alternator in my arms, with a knee, I had knee surgery. It's just unacceptable. They don't think. The problem is, I've said to them, I've given them a really bad review on product review. And I've also sent them an email, sent them a message and said, that's just terrible service, you know. And what did they do? Well, they blamed me, of course. Said it was my fault, I didn't tick the box. How can it be my fault? Why the hell do you not have to opt in to get it signed? Why do you have to opt out of getting it signed? Nothing. Not had a response. So I went on product review, left the review, 1 star, over their services. Not over the alternator, over their services. I can't review the alternator until I get it. I've looked at all the reviews. Now they've got quite a lot of 5-star reviews. A lot in the middle, and then a lot of 1-star reviews. So I started reading the 1-star reviews. Every single one of them is complaining about delivery times. Every single one. And yet they've done nothing. I get offered them a solution. I said, why don't you just look at the item that's been ordered, decide whether it takes the car off the road or not, and if it does, prioritise it. I mean, an alternator's obvious. It would. The starter motor's obvious. You're not going to replace a starter motor on an alternator if the one you've got's working okay. I am now stuck. I can't do really much at all. I can do a bit of electrical work, but I've got to wait till either I get the alternator back from Super Cheap or I get the alternator delivered from Automotive Superstore. Either way, it's going to be next week. I'm not happy at all. So I would suggest if you ever buy anything from Automotive Superstore, make sure you're not in a hurry. Personally, I wouldn't buy from them again. I'm never going to buy from them again. I'm going to give them such a bad review that nobody will buy from them again. You wait and see what I write once I get this alternator. I don't know how people of today have the audacity to turn around and say it's my fault. It's their fault for not explaining it properly. I didn't even know it took 3 days to take it off a shelf. When I used to work at King's, yes, King's are not the best in the world, but if you ordered something that was in the warehouse, you went around with your sheet of paper, they'd bring it to you. You won't tell you to wait, go or get in your tent, mate, and wait 3 days. It'll take us 3 days to get it off that shelf up there. The store, just for the entrance, was probably big, and the shop was probably bigger than most company stores. But this thing went back, it was a whole area store. It was massive. But they could get things from there in minutes, seconds. They knew exactly where everything was. 3 days to order something, get a name and address on it and put it in a tray. 3 days. I got the impression when I contacted them that even if they had it in front of them, they would still take 3 days. Because that's what it says. Well, Automotive Superstore, you're done with me. And you're probably done with my followers. And you're probably done with half the Jackaroo world. I hope you rot in hell. I really do, for your attitude and the fact that you don't give a shit. So the car's sat waiting. I've put some side lights on. I'm installing the rear lights. I'm going to run some cables today to the batteries, and then we'll test the lights to see if they work. I'm installing a new panel in the back to switch things on and off. So that's going to be interesting. That's about it really. I can't think of anything else. There is something else I forgot to tell you about. I bought myself an external microphone because I got sick of hearing the noise when the camera's outside. So I bought my external microphone and it's got one of those fluffy things on there to reduce wind noise. Hopefully that'll work. So the first half of this video, not this bit, but the first half was with that microphone. The second half is now without that microphone and with the camera's built-in one. We'll see how that goes, and if it works okay, then we'll continue using it. See you later. Thank you.